Welcome everybody. It is I, Shane, and I'm here to give you a movie review about this weekend's new film, Cruella. No, that is not the screen cap for Cruella. That's Glenn Close from 101 Dalmatians. You find out why I have that in there. I'm trying to figure out how to start this video. I was gonna do the Disney little mouse ears, but I don't have a wand. But as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm almost at 100 subscribers and we're trying to go further beyond that. So let's get right into it. And I don't want this to be a long one. What I'll do is I'll give you a tiny bit of what happened in there. I won't go too in depth. I got a few notes right here. I will also tell you some of the good things, some of the bad things, some of the stupid things. This film is sitting at like a 92 with audiences, but a 72 tomato score. There are three parts of this movie that I did not like, and there's actually those two of those three parts almost completely ruin this film. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Obviously, Cruella is about Cruella Deville. Apparently, Disney says that she's the most notorious and most evil of the villains, and this is supposed to be her origin story. Don't know about that, but about the most evil part. But yeah, this is supposed to be her origin story, played by Emma Stone, uh, after my own heart. Emma Thompson plays the Baroness. We have Mark Strong as the assistant slash butler for the Baroness, and we have several other. I got some other notes over here as well. Actually, I can tell you who else is in it. Joe Fry as Jasper Budden. You have Paul Walter House as Horace. Emily Beach as Catherine Miller. That's Cruella. By the way, spoilers in here. There's slight spoilers, just letting you know. That's Cruella's adoptive mother. And then we also have Kirby Howell Baptiste as Anita Darling. Anita Darling, you guys remember her from 101 Dalmatians or 101 Dalmatians. That is the owner of Peditra, the mother of 15 of the 99 of the 99 of 15 of the 99 other puppies, right? And what is this guy's name here? Oh, I almost missed him. We have Kyvan Novak as Roger Dearly. He's such a small part in this movie. Those are our cast. So what happens in this movie? Well, Corella's narrating. So keep that in mind. She's narrating, telling us about her birth. She was born with the half black and half white on her head. Um, she grew up poor. She had issues in school because, and she didn't fault her mother for this. She had an eye for fashion. When her teddy bear needed zigzags going one way, she would flip it and cut everything. She even redesigned her own school outfit, changing the jacket. She made friends with Anita, which is very much canon. That's from the original old cartoon movie. Her and Anita were school friends, and her name is not Cruella. It is Estrella. If I can get this right, Estrella von Hellman, but she believed her last name was Miller, her adoptive mother. Don't know if she's adopted yet, but that's her mother. And she's, because she's different, and this is set in when she's younger. This is 1965 London. I believe at the time she's 13. So boarding schools, obviously children pick on people who are different. They end up having to move because there's no other school for her to go to. But she's gonna ask a person she used to work for a little bit of extra cash because they're gonna go to London. They go to this park and everything's gonna be fine. At this party, one of the biggest party, Cruella has an eye for fashion, so she sees this dress. Funny enough, she actually picked up a dog named him Buddy. I believe she named him Buddy. Picked him up from the trash from school, so she starts with the dog. Aha, looks like a terrier mix. But I digress. She sneaks inside the party while her mom told her to stay put inside the car while she's sneaking around. But she told her wear a hat, gotta hide that two-tone hair. While she sneaks in, she's caught by the butler, played by Mark Strong. He was in not League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He was in Kingsman. He was the bad guy in Shazam. I actually enjoy a lot of his work. Anyway, she quickly sees the killer Dalmatians. Three of them actually. Three killer Dalmatians. It's crazy. Just roof. And She is not supposed to be in there. Now, obviously, it looks like that the butler notices her two-tone hair and puts the hat back on and wants to escort her out. He's the one that let her mother in so she could talk to the Baroness. Well, Estella Cruella, she runs outside. She's trying to avoid these dogs who are full on chasing her. And she sees her mom talking to the Baroness. Her mom's, and they're by this ledge. This is a fancy mansion castle. Mother's by the ledge. Excuse me. And her mother's talking to the woman. But soon, the Dalmatians, the Cruella, she falls by a bush. The, the dogs jump and they jump over the bush. They completely ignore Estella and they push her mother over the edge. This this could have literally ruined the entire movie. Cruella Deville, a villain who tries to skin 101 Dalmatian puppies in the future, has three Dalmatians attack her mother and kill her mom. And that's just not that's the tip of it. So of course she has to run away. She runs away. They're still trying to catch her, but somewhere or another she gets into London. She gets to the fountain that her and her mother plan on going to. This place is actually the focal point of where she has most of her conversations with her dead mother because obviously her mother's body was lost at sea. She wakes up and she's greeted by Jasper and Horace. Um, Quick thing, Anita is race bended. She's black, and Jasper, he is also black. So they're more or less street urchins. They steal things, trying to get by, and Cruella Estella gets wrapped up in them. A chase ensues. They have a little dog, Winky, which is a little chihuahua with an eye patch. So adorable. The real animals, not the 3D animals, are what's really great about this movie. It's pretty obvious when they go from like real Buddy to 3D, but it's kind of bad, but whatever. They are in this abandoned, I guess, building, abandoned structure, which they find a way to climb all the way to the top. There's bed, there's a way for them to, a place for them to sleep. And they invite Estella to stay with them. Estella's like, she has no other place to go. She tells them her mother died. They have sympathy for her. She dyes her hair red because anybody will be looking for the two-tone hair girl. 10 years later, we're now in the 70s in London. And one of the things I'm going to cut myself off with, and I wrote this down in here, the soundtrack for this movie is amazing. Like, I think the only thing I was laughing about was they had to get a cover of a Beatles song, which they had the ending theme for this movie is Sympathy for the Devil. They had that. They got the Clash's Should I Stay, Should I Go. They got the Doors 5 to 1. You have Blondie's One Way or Another. You have Supertramp's Bloody Well Right. You got Nina Simone's Feeling Good. All of these songs add lots of atmosphere to this movie. First of all, feel the soundtrack feels right at home. But they couldn't get the rights for a Beatles song. I just find that funny. I actually want to look up the rights for that. But I digress. 10 years in the future, they're still grifting. They made their way. I don't think they are teenagers because I believe she was 10, so she's probably 23. And they're all in their 20s. They're trying to survive. Well, Jasper pays attention to the fact that Corella's always looking out the window, looking at this fashion store that the Baroness is the one who runs all of this. Now, she doesn't know that the Baroness is who her adoptive mother went to go see. Yeah, and I know I spoiled that early. I don't care. She doesn't know this person that she went to go see. But she wants to work. She wants to do fashion. She has an eye for fashion. Through a mishap of being drunk and having to clean her boss's office, because Jasper got her the job through some trickery, she ends up touching up a dress that she said it looks awful. Uses newspaper, touches it up. It catches the Baroness' eye. She has a job. Now she is working for the Baroness. She's doing a great job. She's making a great impression. But one thing I didn't mention is that what is her name? Miller, Catherine Miller, her mom, had a necklace and put the necklace on Estella's neck, told her to hold it for her. Then, when Estella was running away, she lost the necklace. Turns out the Baroness has a necklace and said it was a family heirloom. And she says that one of her staff had stolen it. And Estella Cruella almost gives herself away when she finds out the Baroness side of the story, saying that she ended up dying tragically, put a damper on her party. The Baroness is a very cruel individual. It's interesting. I find it interesting because she's able to get information on people because she has deep pockets and she has her fingers in the police and in everybody. She actually has her fingers in the news as well around there. She can find all this information. She could be confident and strong and sassy, but she takes all of that and turns it in this vile, bitchy, evil character. She insults Estella's mother, saying, the only thing she had to do was raise a kid. She couldn't even do that right? Wow. So Estella is coming up with a plan. She's like, we're going to steal that back because that was my mom's. Of course, Jasper and Horace are going to help her. Well, now she has to come up with a name. Now, teasingly, her mother used to call her Cruella when she had a little mean streak in her. And, as much as she wanted to, Cruella wanted to be good, tried to be good for her mother, even promised that she'll, get her act together so they wouldn't have to keep moving. She took that name. She's going to show up as her black and white self. Obviously, they're not going to recognize the lady that had red hair as being a woman with black and white hair, right? A couple of them plan to steal it. They try to steal it, but the Baron is actually wearing it that night. Calamity ensues as I believe the person that works for her, played by Mark Strong, I believe his name is John. I'm just going to call him John. Um, Actually, I can look this up real quick. I can look this up live, actually. His name is John. Ha, I'm smart. John recognizes the two-tone hair, doesn't forget it. You can tell he doesn't forget it, but doesn't bring it up. And even the Baroness looks at her kind of like, you look familiar. She calls him to stir. And essentially, this is Cruella planned on getting kicked out because it's a heist. Well, unfortunately, those three evil Dalmatians, they start chasing after Winky and Bud, and so much craziness ensues. One of the interesting things in this is when Cruella first shows up, she somehow magically burns her outfit to have another outfit underneath. Don't know how you do that without setting yourself on fire, but yeah. But while Cruella does get a moment to snatch the necklace, and she gives it to Bud. Well, Bud's being chased by these stupid Dalmatians. One of the Dalmatians the eats the necklace, eats the pendant. This is moment number two that is really stupid. I get that sometimes animals could do that, but this dog actively looked like I'm gonna eat this thing. Well, in order for them to escape, Cruella steals a Panther Deville. A Panther Deville. So she doesn't know how to drive. Apparently, she notices that what was she noticed that the Baroness had a whistle, and the whistle was what's controlling the dogs. So then it clicked in her mind. The reason why the dogs didn't chase after her is because the Baroness sicked the dogs on her mother, which is actually very accurate. That actually did happen. And she tells Jasper and Horace, and she's like, I gotta get not only get that jewel back, I gotta get revenge. So here's the revenge plot for Cruella Deville. She's going to upstage her at every event she has, everything that goes on. She makes sure to embarrass her, and she does a pretty good job of it. Um, Earlier on, she ends up making friends with this fashion forward, I believe, gay gentleman. I don't Artie makes friends with him. He makes lots of things. He makes fashion. He knows fashion. She employs him. She has a team, and eventually she meets back up with her friend Anita, who happens to be at that party, and says, "Aren't you kind of bored of writing stuff for the old woman? Why don't you write something for me? Because you're very useful, and we need all this." So she's causing a problem for the Baroness. The Baroness is trying to figure out who is Cruella Deville? The police can't find out who Cruella Deville because she's doing all these stunts, garbage trucks, tons of. You gotta watch it. There's actually it's a montage ish because they actually show her putting in the work, and yeah, I was trying to figure out why does it matter if the police can find her or not. She's technically not doing anything illegal, and Roger was actually the Baroness's lawyer, and she's trying to find a way how to get Cruella arrested. And he's like, I don't. It's really not how the law works. She fires him, and Cruella does the voiceover saying he always blamed me for getting him fired, but the Baroness sucks. Anywho, and this is me going totally off of my memory now. We get to a point where sooner or later the Baroness is starting to figure out who Cruella actually is. She pins Anita saying you're getting a lot of good shots of her. Who is she? Tries to scare her into giving up, who Cruella is. And basically says, well, you're going to end up crying later on. And boy, does she. Well, not really. One of the craziest things is Cruella, Estella, has to lead a double life. And finding out that the Baroness killed her mother and took the necklace pushes her over the edge so much that she's being Cruella. She's treating Jasper and Horace like crap. She's striking some fear into some people. And it gets to the point where this is actually what's confusing me. And Jasper does bring it up later. They are tired of her treating him like crap. They don't like Cruella. They like Estella. And it makes me wonder, why later on are they working for her? Especially, this is more or less a reboot, even though they purposely made Emma Stone's character, Cruella, her younger Cruella, look like Glenn Close's Cruella because they're trying to say it's in the same world, same universe. Whatever, I don't care. But what would lead them to continue to all the way to the 101 Dalmatian caper? As even Jasper says, why should we help you later on? But I'll get to that. So the next heist is the spring selection. Of course, Cruella has to also do her double duty as working for the Baroness. She comes up with this. She didn't actually come up with an amazing design. I believe she knew because she scouted out all the cameras, knew the whole layout of not just her building but her home, and knew that she would be watched while she's on break. The Baroness took one of her designs, which was the best looking thing. She needed 10 outfits. Pardon me, and this was the best outfit. Of course, she has Horace bring her some beads, and I don't know how people are not recognizing Horace and Jasper, unless Cruella's designs, because she makes the disguises for them. If her disguises are that good, like, man, Team Rocket needs to hire her. If you know, you know. But her disguises are apparently top notch. They don't get called. Sewing this outfit together, and she come up with a plan for her to think, her being the Baroness, to think that Cruella wants to steal all the dresses. They lock the dresses up, and at this event, when they open up the dresses, it turns out that Cruella wasn't sewing sequins into the dress. Turns out she was sewing moth eggs. And just all these moths clear out, and it clears everyone else out of the area for her to have her own outside fashion show. And what's maddening is, at this point, the Baroness knows that Estella is Cruella. Even brings it up to John, and John's like, I don't think so. John is clearly trying to defend her, trying to have her back for some reason. Ooh. Well, unfortunately, through all the chaos and the police showing up, Jasper and Horace were followed by the Baroness. They are tied up. She is at the point where she wants to kill Cruella, which shouldn't come at any surprise because one of the lines she told Estella when they were having lunch after coming up with the design, where she says, "It's my design. I just, you work for me. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be able to work. So this is my design." She says you got to be cutthroat and you got to be willing to have that killer instinct. She's willing to kill Cruella and frame Jasper and Horace for it, lighting up that old abandoned building where they have spent their whole entire lives living. And one of the subplots that I did not touch on, they kidnapped the three Dalmatians, Jasper and Horace, and the plan was one of them ate it, so they're gonna poop it out, and they've been waiting for this thing to poop it out. And these Dalmatians are furious and ferocious. Wow. Which is the thing I did look up. Are Dalmatians aggressive? Turns out they are so protective of their owners, they can be highly aggressive towards strangers or just random other people. A lot of times Dalmatians can be docile, but they can be very, very aggressive breeds. Did not know that. Good thing to note, though. They take Dalmatians. Cruella shows up to that event that she ruined in a Dalmatian outfit. Now, everyone thinks that she skinned the Baroness's dogs, which she did not. She's joked about it several times with Jasper, but she did not. They tie up Cruella. They light the place on fire. She takes her dogs. Turns out Winky and Bud are actually still there. They come out and trying to help untie her. Very, not randomly animalistic, very Disney cartoony. Turns out that we know it's John. We see John come out. He picks up something, and later on, the news says Cruella Deville is dead. Anita didn't really cry, but everyone believes Cruella's dead. She wakes up at John's place, very nice little modest London apartment building, and he reveals to her that the necklace had a key in it, which he found and thoroughly bleached. It opened up a box that showed her birth certificate. Her real name is Corella von Hellman. She is the Baroness's actual daughter. I'm pretty sure you all saw that coming. I saw it coming, given how cruel Corella was being when she had that switch flipped. Finding out that the Baroness killed her mother just brought all that on. He revealed to her that he asked for Catherine Miller to take her because when the Baroness found out that she was pregnant, she was not as thrilled as the Baron was, and the Baron was a very kindly man. And she instructed John to kill the newborn baby. Of course, he didn't do that. Gave it to Catherine, told her to run away. The Baron was just so despondent. He ended up wasting away and dying. She, Cruella, Estella, whatever you want to call her, is the rightful heir to all of those buildings and everything that comes along with it. She has a hard time processing this. She goes back to the fountain, which is probably a key turning point scene, where she, speaking to her dead mother, saying, you tried to love all the evil out of me because you were afraid I was going to turn out like her, but I loved you, I really did, but I'm not a good person. I'm bad, and I'm kind of a little bit mad, and things are going to get crazy because I'm going to get revenge. First business order, she gets Jasper and Horace out, convinces them to help her, meets with Artie, tells Artie, of course, she didn't skin the dogs. And they have the plan they came up with was amazing. Having all of the guests dress up like Cruella because they were going to honor Cruella when she died. Fantastic, amazing. I really, really smart characters. This is where you get the diabolical minds coming from. And eventually, things come to pass. Things come to work out, and Cruella's able to sneak her way in there. But the smartest thing she did was change back into her Estella outfit. She puts on the red wig. She has a red wig. So she puts on the red wig, her usual business attire, and she meets the Baroness outside. Meanwhile, Horace has already locked up all the guards. John and Jasper covertly tell all the guests to come out to the terrace, come outside, so that the Baroness can speak with them. These people are all behind her. She doesn't realize it. And Estelle slash Cruella reveals that, yeah, I'm your daughter. I didn't die. I know who you are, and I know what's going on. And it's actually funny because Cruella knew that the Barons were going to try to stick the Dalmatians on her. She had already covertly stolen the whistle. Everyone thought that she was going to use this long pin to stab her. She could have easily stabbed her in the back of the neck and killed her right there, but she didn't. She promised Jasper she wouldn't kill her. And flat out steals the whistle, has the whistle herself because the Baroness tried to walk the dogs and told them to attack. They had been with Cruella for like a week. She even allowed one of them to sleep by her. No way in hell they're gonna kill her. So the Baroness then says, "You know what? I'm impressed. Like I've always been impressed with you." She actually mentioned that several times that she was impressed with Cruella before finding out who she was. That it was just either her, me or her, and she chose herself. And said, "Hey, can I give you a hug?" And Cruella says, "You're not gonna push me over, are you?" And Baroness gives her a hug, and she says, "You really are stupid." Pushes her over in front of all of these people that are behind her. Don't know how she doesn't realize that there are tons of people behind her, but she doesn't. And she tries to spin the tale that no, she jumped. She tried to drag me with her. They obviously saw you push her over. The police, at this point, she doesn't have the police in her pocket now, which she revealed. She Corella's just like her mother because they constantly call everyone imbeciles and idiots and this, that, and the third. They're locking her up, and magically, Cruella is alive. She shows up, black and white hair. Anita is happy. Everyone's happy to know she's not dead. The whole plan was apparently her dress was a parachute. Parachuted her way down to a waiting boat that had Horace in it. They show back up, and that Panther Deville, that's where she gets the last name Deville from, because they find out that that card is Deville, as a Deville, not devil, like Horace said, devil is a Deville. And apparently, knowing that the Baroness would attempt to kill Estella, she had already signed over all of her property and everything that was rightful in her name to Cruella. She keeps everything. She showed up to her own funeral, which no one showed up to, but that is where our movie ends. She has big, big plans. And we get a mid credit scene where, and this is where this is starting to ruin things for me. Because you guys know I care about source material and things being correct. What gets ruined for me is she gives Anita Peditra as a puppy and gives Roger Pongo. She obviously feels bad about Roger getting fired. She gives Roger Pongo. Those two would have had to have come from the litter from the three. Now, unless two of those dogs are female and one is a male, they would still be half siblings. But if they came from the same mother and father, or two of those are male and one is a female, that could work out. That works out in the animal kingdom. But if Pongo and Peditra are brother and sister, they wouldn't have hooked up. Just let me give you guys a little tip. In Animal Kingdom, even though we think all animals might look the same, animals can typically tell who the mother, their father, and all their siblings are from a single glance or from a single smell. Even when they're fighting for territory, sometimes, well, when crocodiles fight for territory, they can't really tell. They back up, but they can tell for mating purposes. And that is one of the things that just kind of made me go, "What the hell?" And apparently, there's an option. Even Emma Stone said there's an option to have a sequel to the prequel. That's just going to be another prequel, and that is Cruella. I am going to go on record as saying that if you would have took away the name Cruella, took away the Dalmatians, it's a good movie. Actually, still a good movie. Out of five, I give it a three. It's a 3 out of 5. It's nothing spectacular, but it's not horrible. I just the 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 movie doesn't really. It's either taking itself really serious, or it takes it or knows exactly what it's supposed to be and it's trying to be cartoonish, and it flutters between those two. That's what stops me from giving it like a 4 out of 5. Is you get these really serious moments like you killed my mom. Is Cruella gonna kill the Baroness, or she gonna forgive the not even forgive, just get justice without killing her? You have the cartoonishly evil Baroness, which is like, I'm in the fashion world. I'm willing to kill everybody. You literally have everybody. Look, I'm gonna just say it first, and I hope. I'm sorry for any British or UK people that are watching this. In this movie, British people suck. Like her boss is an ass. The attendant to the Baroness, he's an ass too. Almost everybody is an ass except for Artie. except for Jasper and Horace, which, they're thieves, but they're not jackasses. It is ridiculous the amount of people. The little kids are assholes, except for Anita, who, her and Cruella, they had a friendship. People suck in this movie. They really, really, really suck. And it's and another thing that was kind of in my mind, it reminds me of The Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. This entire movie is being told from Cruella. She is narrating this. This is being told from her perspective. How much of this tale is 100%? Did she actually give them Pongo and Pedidra? Did some of these events actually happen? Was the Baroness actually not an evil person, but she actually set it all up? Who knows? I'm leaning on the side that everything that's happened did happen, but again, when you tell a story from another character's perspective, you always have to question it just a little bit. Um, Soundtrack was great. Cinematography was great. I could nitpick about the 3D Dalmatians or the 3D Buddy the Terrier. Pardon me, but I won't. The Beatles thing was just kind of funny. Soundtrack was great. Visuals was great. For me, it teeters between the three and the four, but the four, again, like I said, the four comes from how am I supposed to take this movie? Am I supposed to take this seriously, or am I supposed to be like this is just a cartoonish kind of people are cartoonishly evil and cartoonishly dumb? Don't know. Setting was accurate. I'm pretty sure they probably filmed this on location because there wasn't a ton of people on the streets. So, pandemic era, what can you do? But please, if you saw this film, tell me what you think of Cruella. Do you really think we need origin stories for old Disney villains? I mean, the first Maleficent movie was great. The second one, not so much. It wasn't. It was kind of dumb, kind of dumb. Visuals were amazing in that movie. Straight 10 out of 10 visuals, but yeah, the story's really dumb. Do these villains need backstories? I don't think they do, because again, this is a character that tried to kill Dalmatian puppies for a coat. And even Emma Stone says she doesn't want to. One, she doesn't want to promote smoking, so she doesn't have the long cigarette, and she doesn't want to promote skinning animals. So I'm guessing that as long as she's playing Cruella, that won't be a thing. But it's where 101 Dalmatians come from. Also, watch 101 Dalmatian Street, especially if you have children. Again, let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. Please remember to like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to get notified of more videos like this. I plan on doing more movie reviews. Try to do them at least once every other week. And I still owe you guys some videos. Don't think I forgot. I owe you Mortal Kombat. I owe you Yasuke. I don't know if I'm going to do Godzilla versus Kong because I don't really. I don't know if I'm going to do that one. But just be looking out for other stuff. Remember, share this video so we can have everybody else see what a great job we are doing here with the videos. Of course. As always, I thank you for showing up. Please remember, be good, be blessed. Wear a mask. Black Lives Matter. Wash your hands, please. Be good to yourself and others. Don't be a jerk, and I will definitely see you next time.